Alright guys, so I just picked up this JLG 30HT model 30-foot Manlift, 1986. Drug it home last night. Engine runs, it's got a 4-cylinder Wisconsin in it. And the problem is it does have some hydraulic leaks. There's a hose somewhere up in here that is leaking, and I can't quite find where it is just from a quick assessment. I need to flat toe this and move it out of the way, but before I do that, I think the brakes and the hydraulic pump doesn't unlock until it has hydraulic pressure. So what I'm going to do is fill it up with oil, hydraulic oil, and fire it up and see if I can quickly see the hose that's leaking, and then try to get a crow's foot wrench in here and pull that hose off and take it to Napa just for now to get it back in the by the garage so I can work on it. Some of these hoses are gonna need replaced for sure. They're old. They're not as bad as they look because it's mostly just paint cracking. They kind of sprayed this whole thing when they painted it. Could not find any information on this at all. I don't even, there's nothing. I have a book, but it's not for a 30, it's for a 60-foot, so it's different motor, different pretty much everything. Maybe the controls are the same, you know, ground controls and basket controls. Everything seems to work. He thinks the hose is for the boom out, that blue. So maybe I can look in the manual and find which one is the boom out, and then trace that back and pull that hose off. Yeah, gonna put some more gas in it too, because it was having trouble starting on the trailer. I think it just got sloshed around. The gas is here, and hydraulic oil's up here. But yeah, it's 2-wheel drive. Got it for a good price. Gonna need a little bit of work, but it's perfect for the shop build. And I think maybe one of the hoses is for the basket. He was saying that that's why it's, you know, flat. It's not getting held up. And I think that is a cylinder right here. You can kind of see it. And you probably can't see it, but it's like right there. So it probably needs grease too. I know that this is a pivot, basket pivot, left and right. That does work. So it was a bit of a chore getting it, but nothing too crazy actually. So I gotta clean up all this oil, get some more oil dry, and probably reseal my whole driveway too. It's got 3,100, and you guys can't see it, but 3,147 hours. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I got that back cover too. Those are the drives. Actually, I'm noticing now that this one, oh, there's something. So there's this. Okay, so here's a line. There must be some sort of control that goes to the top here. Yeah, because this one's wide open. Okay, so that makes sense. We only have, it was spinning yesterday and I thought that was odd. So it looks like it only has one wheel drive. Yeah, so he just put a fitting on here and capped it. But I'm hoping this drive motor works. This must be the, yeah, this is like the hydraulic signal that tells it to engage. And then you have a feed and a return. So we are missing that in here. It's just a fitting. But these hoses actually look pretty good. So I got high hopes. So awesome. I'm gonna throw some oil in it and we're gonna play around with it. Here's the 4-cylinder Wisconsin. It actually runs really good. It sounds great. Got clean oil in it. All right, new battery. Let's get to work. Alright guys, so I got the Manlift into its resting position for a little bit now. You can see it a little better now, there's less shadows. So here's the Wisconsin engine. 4-cylinder. It's been actually giving me some trouble starting. It takes a little bit. I don't know if I might have to pull the carb off and clean it, or it's got these choke cables here. That's the main one. It's wired back, and then back there's the choke. I tried playing with those when I was starting, and it didn't seem to help. What helped the most was jumping the battery. It gave it a lot more RPMs on the starter. So as you know already, we got a major hydraulic leak, and I cannot see where it's coming from. He told me it was a hose. I'm now thinking it's actually one of these valve bodies, and he had some rags stuffed up under here, which is fine. He's probably just, it's not like he was hiding anything. Like, I knew this thing was leaking, and he probably doesn't know where it's leaking either. So there's some hornet's nests, and we've got all this sand in here, which we put in to stop the leak a little bit. I got some more hydraulic fluid to add to it. We need to find the leak, so I need to power wash all this out. So I think I'm gonna get actually a shot back and hit this first, so it's not super messy, and then we'll just start power washing. Even down here with that drive motor, power wash all that out. We'll get all this gross mold off it, clean it up. Yeah, it's gonna look way better without that. So I'll take some before and after photos, but just wanted to film this real quick, and we'll start power washing this guy and see, and then we'll fill it up, fire it up, and see if we can find the leak. So let's do it. Alright, so I just washed everything off, but before I go in for the night, I want to see if it's take any grease. What that'll do is push the water out of any spot I got it in. I keep finding parts too. Here's a nut. So there's a piston in here that tilts the basket up, and when I got it, the guy said it wasn't functioning. I tested it myself. He was right, it does not go up. I have a theory that this thing got dragged through the dirt and it's packed full of rocks, and that's why it won't go up. So because the hydraulics make a noise like they're functioning and I don't see any leaks, so let's see if we can't sort of dig this out a little bit.
There are some rocks in there. We could take it off too and clean it out real good, but let's see. Easiest thing first. It's possible that it wouldn't go up if it was bound up. Right. Well, let's fire it up and see if that does anything. Alright, as that happened, got a huge leak when I was playing with that function. So it's definitely that function that has the blown hose. Because it felt like it was pushing, but just not enough. So my goal now is to find that hose. And we might be in good shape. Alright, what's up? So I got another 5 gallons of hydraulic oil. That was like 65 bucks. I'm gonna try to get the economy stuff from Napa next time. But I pulled out the 4 hoses that go to the boom. And they're these small, like, I guess the ID would be like a 1/4 inch. And I wiped them off and they look pretty good. This one has some goo on it. It's these 4 here. All the sort of black ones. So what I'm going to do is fill it up with more hydraulic fluid. I was looking for a tank level on this, and there is an indicator right here. It's sort of hard to see the water sitting in there. Now it looks like it's clean now, but you can tell some of this is cracking, so I really don't want water getting in there, because you could tell it's definitely got water in the hydraulic oil. So anyways, I'm gonna fill that up. We're gonna fire it up, go back to the boom, and somehow try to, by myself, like engage the boom controls and then come back and see if any of these are leaking. If they are, I'll pull all these covers off. This big cover here. This is solid tube, so it just needs fished through. But here's they seem like they're full length hoses without a union. Some of these are electric, which we'll need. I'll put some tape on that and that. We have some not bare wire, but exposed sheathing. Alright, that might be the best view I can get. Fire it up. Going through cameras, all the SD cards are full. I found the leak. It is. I was able to move all these out of the way. It's this hose right here. At least one of them. Well, at least one of the leaks is this hose right here. And it leaked when I used the lift function on the boom. So it's all kind of making sense now. Now, I think this goes up to one of those joints. So I'm gonna pull it, you know, down here, try to get it loose in there, find out which joint it is, and then when I find out which joint it is, I'll spray that down with like PB, try to undo that with a line wrench so I don't strip it, and then I gotta come in here and find it. It's also gonna rain in about an hour, so it's gonna be one of these guys, but I don't know which one yet here. And it looks like these 90s break down. I'm thinking I want to get it loose up high first. Yeah, I can actually see it right there. You see it moving back there? It's gonna be a tough one. Right now I have it sitting, taking the weight off it on that thing. So this might be a pain. The good news is the rest of the hoses, they're dirty and stuff, but they don't look bad. Like these little guys, that one there I thought was the problem. It's got some wear marks on it, and some of the ones on the back up there have some wear marks on them too. Yeah, but I think I know which one it is. Let's see. You can see it back there. One of these two here. I'm confused on the leveling cylinder. There's something going on with this leveling cylinder too. It definitely, the seal's definitely blown out of it, but it's also leaking. And somehow that boom, like it's one of these. It's this one or it's this one. But they like tie into each other. They tie into that boom cylinder. Might have to get some ratchet straps on all these hoses and sort of tie them up a little bit to that boom. Give me some space. Of course, it's the lowest freaking one here. 11/16. Yep, 11/16. Makes sense. I remember changing lines and oh, it's easy. Thank you. I've got some yellow string here. Tie it to this as best I can so when we pull it through, we can tie it back. Alright, we are halfway through the battle. I'm going to keep this string on there for the same reason. We're going to pull it through, you know, all the way up there. Now my next problem is I don't know where it goes up there. I'm going to start pulling from that end. So for sake of time, because it's going to rain, and I would put this boom up, but it's going to rain and stuff, and I just don't like leaving it up. I think it's this one right there coming off of that leveling cylinder. What I'm going to do is pull that fitting off right there on the 90, the furthest most. I'm pretty sure it's that one. And then I'll pull that once I have it off, because I'll be able to pull in the 90, and then to double check it's the right hose, I'll just blow it out with some compressed air, and if it blows out the other end, we know that's it. And if I can't get it out, I might actually just run it, run a new one over top of everything. That is not it. Okay, so process of elimination. I didn't see anything come out. Did you guys? I think that might not be the other end of that, so I'm gonna keep pulling, see if I can. Alright, I'm gonna try tying up some of the cables because I can't seem to get it to move course it's the lowest one. It's possible maybe it's original. It's so hard to get to. But if I tie this up, ow. Alright, so I'm halfway there. I found the hose. I just can't find the other end, so maybe I put this on like my side-by-side winch and freaking pull it. I don't know, but it's starting to rain now, so I gotta call it quits. But clean this all up. All right. Hey guys, well, I'm back on the Manlift. Hose that is broken, has a hole in it, is this one here, right? So I was able to track it down. I'll show you the rip once I get it out, but it's right there. But actually I won't be getting it out because it goes to that slave cylinder back there that does the bucket leveling. Basically it's a passive cylinder, so when it goes up it'll automatically like level the bucket. So I've been thinking of a way to bypass it. I'm gonna basically take off these junctions, which is kind of thoughtful. What they did was they put this junction, so this is the one that goes to the boom, goes all the way out, and this is the other one here. Well, the connection points are way down there, and there's no way I'm gonna get to it without tearing this whole thing apart, and I really don't want to do that. So what I've decided is to pull off the coupler, and then I'm gonna direct drive back to the manifold straight, negating that whole cylinder. And I might buy some plugs for that cylinder. So I've got to get this off. 3/4 looks a little big on that. 11/16 is also a little small. That's odd. Maybe it's metric. That'd be weird. Just drop this in a puddle. There it goes. Still got some juice in it. Fittings sorted. I just had the wrench backwards. I don't know if I can crack them loose. Yep, 5/8 and 11/16. Now this is probably gonna leak all the boom fluid out. My game plan is to get that hose out so they can match the. Guess I need to see if I can pull this back. Let me know if it goes down. Alright, what's up guys? So I think today's the day we're going to get this Manlift running. I found that the best price in hydraulic oil is actually Tractor Supply, at least locally. I've been buying the Napa 5 gallons, and it's a little confusing because I had Tractor Supply listed as ISO 46, but I looked it up on some forums and it says that ISO 46 is technically the same as AW 46. AW stands for anti-wear. It's kind of like a premium add-on, but it's the same stuff. So this was only like 42 bucks a gallon. Napa's was like 65. This stuff here, AW 46. So we're gonna put another 5 gallons in. Alright, so I also got this new hose made, JIC fittings. This is 3/8 hose, 4800 PSI, and I got it 6 foot long. And I'm hoping that's enough. So like I said before, the old one here, I tied a string to it so I can fish it back through. But we're gonna do that first And I'm going to wrap this in electrical tape so that it doesn't get a bunch of crap in it when I'm pulling it through. I'll probably actually just wrap both ends. We'll tie this string through and see if we can get it in there and get it up to this this fitting. That fits nice. Alright, I'm gonna turn you guys off because I'm just gonna keep swearing. Oh, God started. Got it. Unconventional, but a little longer. Gotta be close. Alright. So here's my end. So I got my fitting. Blowing out with air, so that's all clean. This is as far up as this other hose goes, so I'll wipe it off real quick. So unfortunately I'll have to work down here. This kind of sucks, but at least it's a good length to end up working out. But I probably should have got one size bigger, but we made it work. I'm gonna snug that one first. So that's 5/8 and 3/4. That's it, baby. This out of here. If I get stuck, yep, should have pulled the other end. Efficient. Alright, clean this all up, and I got one more thing I want to fix before we fire it up. Alright, so we are full of hydraulic fluid. Now I know there's some water in there. There's no other access to this tank besides taking it all off. So one day I'll pull all these off and clean it. But for now it's gonna be good enough. Okay, so there's two things we need to do. One is we gotta bend this platform up right here because it's rubbing. If someone just stood on it. That'll work. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to do was these controls. So this one controls the left and right, and it's stuck out. So if you see on this one, I can pull it, and that pulls out that detent right there, and it allows you to move it. Same with this one. This one's really nice, and the rest are just button switches or toggle switches. But since this one's stuck, it like tends to want to go left. See, it sticks left and right, and it's a little dangerous because we've had it like swing back and forth while we're put a little bit of PB in there, let it soak. It's definitely stuck. All right, well, nothing to it but to do it. Let's fire this thing up. I'm gonna keep an eye on some of the stuff, but we did it all right. Shouldn't have any leaks. The only weird thing I could see happening is like the boom automatically starts to go up or something. But we'll keep an eye on it, shut it off. So.
This is just from that auxiliary cylinder. They're still full of fluid. I think so. I think it's time to try to drive it. The drive. Bring it up. So that's what it is. It's the left steering function, and it looks like it's coming from this block, not from a hose. So the left steering line. I'm gonna clean this up a bit. All right, so I'm super psyched that we got this far. I got grease all in my face. But boom, the basket works. Goes up and down. It took a minute to get the hydraulic oil up, 30 feet of line. But it works fine, and I think it's gonna work so that when I drive it, it'll, I'll be able to level it as I go up. So I'll just have to get used to the controls a little bit. But we found our second issue when we tried to drive. Actually, maybe two issues. So I turned it left, and this makes a lot of sense why it was leaking so much when I drove it over here. Turning left, which would be this line here, because it's going to push the piston in, right? So it's pulling and then pushing that guy. So this line here, I think it's actually leaking not from the hose, I think it's leaking from the block. So I think that might pass up the center. Yeah, it would have to, because it has to spin, right? So there might be a swivel connector in there, which seems like a huge pain to get to. So hopefully that's not the issue. I'm gonna guess, since I'm getting a lot of fluid here, it's one of these blocks, and I'll have to review the footage. You guys saw it, but essentially we're gonna have to take this block out now. These are basically the solenoids, and I want to try to get the name of this power block. But it's probably just an O-ring, which is an easy fix. The hard part is getting in there to get to it now. I'm gonna have to, let's see, I'll probably label all these lines, front and back. I think I have to pull these off here. Now, the problem is, it's one of the ones in the back. If it was one of these, it'd be so easy. But because it's one in the back, I'm gonna have to split this gasket here, which means I need a new gasket on one of these blocks. Now, which one is it is the problem. Which one is it? How do I find that out? I might just need two people, and I might need someone to run it and the other guy to look and see which one is blowing out. That might be my best bet. And then that way I only have to change one of these seals. I can just
Those are probably rusted out in there. He might have actually, so he might have tried to fix this. It's highly possible he already tried to fix this and the block is stripped out inside those holes and rusted, which that would make sense why he sold it to me for so cheap. I was hoping there'd be like an auxiliary, you know, I don't know what this is, but I only need it to steer, you know, one way, so possibly I could steal from another function, but I kind of need all the other functions. But that'd be sick if I could just add another toggle on like an auxiliary, and then to steer left you just have to like push a button, you know. I'm just sort of talking this through here. So we thought we won the battle, but we are still pretty far away. I think what I'll do is try to clean up this number plate right now. Looks like someone already tried. And see if I can get some info on that. Maybe it'll have an O-ring kit. They gotta be pretty standard manifolds. But if I had to guess, you know, this block has the steering in it and maybe the rotation, and then this block over here is what runs the booms, the lifts. But the good news is our new line didn't leak at all. And something I just noticed is that when this bottoms out here, it puts the platform like, you know, an inch above the ground, which is perfect. I was thinking about adding like a 2x6 under here, maybe just welding it on the side so it doesn't get caked with mud up in here. All right, so we have, and then, okay, so the second issue is this tire was skidding, and it's probably just because it's soaked in oil. But he had that motor disconnected, and if it's dragging, that motor's definitely like seized up. So I gotta figure out if I can pull the motor out without having to take all the bearings and stuff out, if it just has like a drive shaft, and then maybe see about getting that rebuilt or rebuilding it. And then we have two-wheel drive, but that's kind of a separate concern. I'm not super worried about that right now, but I'd love to be able to steer left, so I'm gonna have to get creative. Dang, if it was a hose, I would just like maybe figure out a way to run it up and over for now. And then you can't spin 360, but it's good for now. But it's on that block. All right, that's enough rambling. I'm gonna see if I can take those off.